What is going down? It's MC Noble here, and we are back live on YouTube. And I've got for you today, I've got the weekend antics, or the weekend aftermath, whatever you want to call it. And I've got for you as well. So, for those of you who may or may not know, if you've not watched the recent streams or if you just don't know in general, I had a couple of things happening this weekend. I had a gig and I was also at the Humber Street Sesh with the Goodwin tent. So I'll give you like a little bit of an aftermath update of sort of what went down over the weekend. And I'm not gonna lie, it's been a very yesterday was a very stressful day, and it was a very panicky day. It was a very worrying day. Where I was just essentially, everything that went wrong just could have gone wrong. Time, just everything just sort of went all sort of like tits up and pear shaped for me, which was a little bit of a bugger and a letdown. So we'll start with Friday, and Friday I went to TFI at the warehouse. It was the TFI's 20th birthday. To think TFI have been running for 20 years is absolutely crazy. It was a bit of a last minute thing. The layman was going as a last minute thing, and I was only going to be sat at home, and I thought to myself, do I go? Don't I go? Then I realised that I had to be down at Goodwin for 9:20 in the morning to go to the Humber Street Sesh. So I was thinking, do I go to the TFI? Do I not? It's going to be quite a late night. And the TFI just looked so good, the lineup looked belting. So in the end, I decided that I was going to power on, I was going to soldier through, and I decided to head myself off to TFI. And TFI was absolutely amazing. It was on another level. There was people like Scott Brown, there was people like DJ Kurt, there was Marky G, there were so many people playing upon the lineup along with locals and up and comers, and it was an absolutely amazing night. There was supposed to be 3 rooms, but for some reason the third room didn't end up opening. But the main room and the outdoor terrace at the warehouse was open. Not gonna lie, I spent practically most of the night at the outdoor terrace outside because it was just so warm. And at the outdoor terrace, it was full of donk. So you had people like Jamba and Porter playing, you had people like JDH playing, you had Double DNA, which is DJ Squire, in NRG. So they were all ripping up the donk flavours outside, and it was absolutely bouncing out there. It was packed out there, it was rammed out there, and I think a lot of it was because of the weather, because it was so warm inside, that it was just, unbearable to be dancing and raving in there. So it was a bit cooler outside, but it was still warm outside because it's rammed full of people, and people are raving and going for it. And I just want to say that little outdoor donk area was just absolutely banging. The system was belting, the tunes was belting, the atmosphere was belting. Every DJ smashed it. DJ Kirby, he played the last set in the outdoor terrace, B2B. I forget who he was B2B with, but he played some absolute belting donk. Jambo and Porter just absolutely smashed it as well. JDH really did an amazing set as well. Squire, in NRG, absolutely brought the roof down with their donk set, even though there was no roof. They brought the sky down. So that was absolutely belting. So, like I said, I soldiered through. I didn't get home till like 5 in the morning. And I had a couple of hours before I had to be up, before my alarm was to go off and I had to go into Goodwin. So I woke up about 7:45. I heard the alarm go off, and when it just goes off and you just think, right, I'll just lay for a couple of minutes and wake up, and then I'll get myself sorted. And then before you know it, I fall asleep and I wake up at quarter to 10. So I fall as doze for like another hour. I get up and then I realise I've had missed calls and they're like, are you coming? Are you coming to Goodwin? And then I text them and I just made up an excuse and said, look, little family emergency. I'll come straight down to the site. It was just, I sort of slept in. I'd had a bit of a late night and stuff like that, and I just thought, yeah, I'll just meet them straight there. It'll be easier. So off I went down to the Humber Street sesh, where I was part of the Goodwin tent, and it was really good to go down to the Humber Street sesh. I got to see Kerry, who used to work at Goodwin. She come down to volunteer and just help out for the day at the Humber Street session. I'd not seen her since she'd left the department on disability at Goodwin. So it was really nice to see her and catch up, and she was buzzed to hear about my job and all the rest of it. And it was good just to be there with other Goodwin staff as well, which was a really good thing. The Humber Street session looked like it was going off, to be fair. Beats Bus had their own little area, and it was encouraging young people to get rapping and writing raps, and that was a really good thing to see as well. And we all contributed in the audience, and we wrote this little rap about what hip hop means to us. And it was just a really good sort of atmosphere and day. And then there was a chance for me to perform on the Beats Bus side of things as well. But sadly, a few things went wrong, and timing went wrong, and basically another guy from Goodwin called Cameo, who raps, essentially things didn't go to plan, and his performance got pushed back, and then everything else got pushed back, and then another guy went on after him before me, and time just got pushed back and things just got pushed back. And I had a gig on the night. I was doing a private party, you see. So I got pushed back, and in the end I had to say, look, I'm gonna have to go. There's nothing I can do. So I got back home, and I had a little USB incident. So I had to go on the PC and drag some files across to another couple of USB sticks, hoping that everything would be fine and everything would work. And then I had to quickly pack everything up and make sure that I could get to this venue in time for this private party. And it was like a surprise birthday, so I had to be set up and playing music before 7:15, because that's when the surprise person was due to arrive. And I had to be, I had to make sure that I was set up and ready before then. So I was rushing around and panicking like I don't know what. The weather was scorching. I was getting all aerated and et up, and didn't want to be late, do you know what I mean? And as I was sat at the Humber Street, I was looking at the time and it was getting on, and I was thinking about what I had to do. And it was just absolutely, it was not a really good situation to be in. And then I got to the venue for the private party. I got set up in good time, which was quite good. I go to turn my decks on, and one of the USB sticks just wasn't loading. It must have been a corrupted, dodgy stick, and it just would not load. So at this point, I was thinking, what am I going to do? I was burning up. I was feeling ill. I felt like I was going to pass out. I was getting stressed. And then I come up with like a little bit of a plan B, and I kind of had to work off of one USB stick and then work off of YouTube and CDs. So I had a lead that was plugging into my phone, which I do that anyway, but the sound's not the best through it. So I don't normally like to do it much, because it's like real dodgy and quiet, so you've got to turn like your volumes right up. And then when you go back to the USB, because the USB is like bringing out the normal quality audio, it comes in like mega loud. So you've got to really sort of work with your volume. So when you're sort of like switching back from the phone to the USB, you're not bringing the USB stick in like extortionally loud. And then when you're going back to the phone, you're not bringing something in that's just mega quiet and you can barely hear it. So I don't normally like to use it like all the time, and just use it now and again for a few requests, but I was kind of like forced to use it. because I had to use it, you know. And then I used a lot of CDs as well. And the night turned into a real success. And there was really vibing a bit later on. There was vibing like the 90s dance, and there was vibing like their house tunes. And you know, when you just think at this point, like, I wish I'd had me other two working USB sticks that was full of house music. But I don't know how, but I was like mixing like from a YouTube beat into a beat on my decks, and then going back to a C, then going back to another CD on the other deck. And it was really good. I don't know how I was doing it, but it was working. I was just supplying and bringing in some really good tunes, and there was going for it, and there was dancing, and it was a real good success, and I was really pleased. By the end of the night, but by the end of the night, by the time I got back home, got everything brought back into the house, all the equipment. My feet were killing. I was really tired. I was knackered. Because obviously I didn't get much sleep the night before because I'd come back in so late from the warehouse. It was just not a good thing. But there's something about that warehouse, and it's just an amazing place, and the vibe in there is just absolutely fantastic. Although paying £1.60 for a can of Coke is not. So there we go. So yeah, let me just have a drink. Oh dear. Oh, it's. Oh, pardon. So yeah, so the weekend turned sort of from a disaster into something that worked turned out well. You know, for me, I was just pleased that I could still like get everything sorted and entertain people. But for me personally, it didn't go as well as I wanted it to go. I wish I'd had the two USB sticks that I could have that had all my other stuff on. But sadly, I don't have them sticks anymore. So I've got to sort loads of folders out this week and try and put like loads of music back together, which is a pain. But unfortunately, it just has to be done. Unfortunately, and you know, especially if I do want these tunes back as well, which is you know, just one of them things. But other than that, it was still a good weekend. It still went down, and today I had a little ride with the layman to the Hornsey Beach. Just for a little chill out, but it was actually quite cold there, believe it or not. Like, I'm quite warm here now, and earlier I'd had to taken a walk to the shop a couple of times, and the weather was scorching, so it felt like it was like beach weather. And then the layman rang me up and said, what was I up to? And I just said, you know, not much. And I said, it's scorching out there, it's beach weather. So he said, well, you know, do you want to go? You know, you chip in for the fuel, and, you know, fiver in the fuel, and we'll go. And I thought, well, do you know what? It's scorching here. You know, I actually would not mind just getting to the coast and cooling off a bit. And like I say, we got there, and, you know, it was absolutely a lot colder, to the point where I didn't even go in the sea. Which was surprising because I took my shorts to go in the sea, but it was just cold, and it was nothing but coldness, and it was just one of them where you couldn't do it. You know, I didn't want to do it. There was people in the sea, not many, but there was a few in the sea, but the sky had gone grey. It was starting to get misty, and it just turned into what did not feel like a beach day. So we chilled on the beach for a little bit, and then decided that we'll get food, and then we was going to go back to the beach, but it cooled off quite a bit, got quite misty, so we just got food, and we came back home. And that was the weekend. That was the weekend. So updates. I've got a couple of little updates for you. So the first one, the Bounce to Your Drop event that I'm playing at on the September. there's a possibility, well, I think it might be actually happening. They're thinking of putting a pre-party, just a little like warm-up party, just before the actual main event. So I think they're on about something maybe just like nearby in one of the pubs. I can't remember where they said. And I think they're just on about having a little bit of a warm up, just a few DJs spinning some tunes, just for an hour or so before the event actually kicks off at the actual main club itself. So, a little pre-party, and then go over to the main event if you want to see myself, Ian Van Dal, Karen Parry, and and all the rest of them, Ryan Walker. So it should be quite fun. Like I say, I think it is going to happen. But once I get proper confirmation, and if there's like a little poster or a little flyer or anything that comes out with it, I'll be sure to update you. But it'll be a nice little warm up. I mean, I'll be definitely going down just to have a little bit of a warm up, because like I say, the thing with events as well, and the thing for me is I love an event. And one thing I hate is like the day of an event, and you just sat around and you're looking at the clock and you're thinking, I wish it was event time. So if there's any excuse to go a little bit earlier and get amongst people and enjoy the vibe and the day, then I'm all up for it, which is good. The second update is Aurora Core. So, those of you who may or may not know, there's a page on Facebook called Aurora Core that is owned by the DJ Aurora D, who is absolutely smashing it at the moment on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, getting thousands of views on live streams and posts and doing TikToks. And she runs a page called Aurora Core, and every week a variety of DJs they play live on this page, and they stream their music and their sets and their DJing, and there's mods that just essentially mod the chat and share it out, promote it. And I used to play on it about a year ago, and then sadly there was a few little bits and bobs that went down, and there was a few little issues and some drama that went on. And I hate drama. I don't like getting involved in things. So I just decided to walk away at that point. And it looked quite bad, because I had essentially walked away from this page and not walked away from another page. However, I wasn't actually playing on the other page. The other page had kind of died off, but I just hadn't left the group chat, which was a little bit because I wasn't really fully sure what was happening, and I was getting told loads of mixed messages and emotions about the Aurora course. So anyway, it all went water under the bridge, and I apologise for just leaving, and everything got remanded and fixed. And I'm pleased to announce that I'm going to be returning to the Aurora Core, and I'm playing. I think I'm going to be playing every Thursday. I think I originally played at 10 p.m. And I think I'm going to go back to the 10 p.m. slot. I think I'm not totally sure yet, but I think I'm going to go back to the 10 p.m. slot, and I'm going to be starting on Aurora Core from this week. So I'm going to join back this week, and I'm going to play. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to play bounce on there, but I think once a month I'm going to switch it up and do like a bit of a, so like once a month I'll play something a little bit different. So maybe 1 month I'll play trance, the other month hardcore, and the other month I might do something like maybe some like tech house and some like remixed house, or maybe like hardstyle reverse bass, who knows. But I think my main sort of genre that I'm going to play on there is going to be bounce, as I love playing other genres, but I do want to get more bounce bookings, and I want to get out there sort of with the bounce. And you know, because I kind of done quite a lot of things hardcore wise, and a lot of people knew me sort of like for mixing hardcore, a lot of MCing over hardcore. So a lot of people, you know, and even Harder Southwest when I was, you know, part of that, it was all, you know, a lot of it was hardcore, and I don't even think I ever really did bounce on there. So you know, I kind of want to do a bit more sort of bounce wise and get more into it, and do a bit more with the bounce itself. So I'm gonna sort of mainly play bounce on there, and then like I say, once a month I might just switch it up, and I might just go ahead and maybe play something a little bit different like once a month. So maybe like the last Thursday of every month or something. I'll do like maybe like a little bit of an anything goes kind of mix, if you like, and just, you know, like I say, play a little bit of anything, and play a little bit of everything, and just sort of see where it goes. It'll be a good thing to see, obviously. I don't know what's happened. Give me just a second. Yeah, there we go. I don't know what. My hotspot turned off to my PC, which was quite an annoying thing as well. There's going to be some other stuff coming up in the pipeline as well, and I can't wait to announce to you people. But we're just getting a few things in the pipeline, and hopefully things will go to plan, and we'll get sort of things that, you know, we'll get the ball rolling again, and hopefully that, you know, we'll have an announcement for you. But other than that, that is about it for this stream. So make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to share. I'm at Bounce Force this Saturday. That's down in Lee, which is like a suburb of Wigan, and it's all like part of a suburb of Greater Manchester. So hopefully it should be a good do. I'm B2B with DJ Catchy, and I think we're going to have a nice little set put together as well, which is going to be good. So I'm looking forward to it. And speaking of Aurora Core, I think I am on the flyer for this week's rota, which will confirm if I am going to be this Thursday or not, which is going to be a good thing. But I actually can't see it. I think it's just going to I think it's struggling to load, just because I'm streaming at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Let's have a look. The flyer. I'm on the flyer for 9:30. I think I used to do 10 p.m. But 9:30 is good for me. 9:30 is good for me. So I'm going to be playing bounce at 9:30. I'm not sure. It doesn't say on here that anybody's after me. So if I do feel like staying on a little bit longer, do you know what I mean? So like if I do feel like, you know, I'll stay on a bit longer, spin tunes for a bit longer. I'll spin tunes for a bit longer. So, but yeah, that's gonna do it for the stream. Make sure to like, make sure to comment, share, and peace out. Take it easy.